Hello everybody and welcome back to another blind commentary of Samurai Jack Season 3 Episode 6 as per usual. Let's outro. I had some criticism about the previous episode, but that's just one episode and it wasn't bad, so don't take that into serious consideration. I just have to criticize things if I have some criticism to give, of course. I still enjoyed it, so it's not gonna color this episode, because this episode is already quite colored, because a lot of people have been talking about the 6th episode, and I wonder why exactly. This will be interesting to see why this episode has been mentioned a few times, but that's going to be revealed in a few seconds, so let's just start proper.
We'll start there.
Well, it certainly is a unique start for the episode. It's starting with exposition already. That's quite unusual for the show, but that might not actually be bad, because that at the very least is something that the show doesn't do really often. So it's at the very least different, and that is kind of the theming of the show. Everything is different, but every episode is different, so what actually will be the importance of that exposition? Because it wasn't really exposition done for the sake of just dulling out time, but rather it had some meaning to it. Like, of course, there's nothing that should be done haphazardly or carelessly, so I just wonder what exactly will be the purpose of that exposition. That is an interesting obstacle, a lake that pulls you down immediately, or very heavily like that. That certainly is a pretty good death trap, but I wonder why exactly it does that. I mean, there's, like with the show, there's just two explanations. It's either mechanical contraption, there's some mechanical contraption there, or it's magic. That's an interesting transportation method, but also this is kind of a fortunate coincidence that Jack happened to be on the shore at that moment. It's quite odd. Or fortunate. Fortunate coincidences are like really important, but this is where Jack was already about to give up, so it's kind of annoying that there happened to be a fortunate coincidence that pulled him through instead of anything else. That is an interesting creature, like a giant. It has like insect-like eggs. How can it even support itself on something so flimsy looking? It's certainly unique. That much is forgiven. Well, that's at the very least pretty good that Jack at the very least took that opportunity to ask something that was rumored to have been around forever, to ask it a question of how to solve his main problem. That's, you know, it's good consistency, I must say. Like, it's good to be consistent with the theming of the show at the very least, so that's good. That's good. I really do adore their creature design. These creatures are so alien. I mean, of course they do have distinctly like separate forms that are clearly inspired by. They're clearly inspired by actual creatures. Like this one is perhaps from, you could say, camel, perhaps. And the other one is clearly Scorpion, but they are very distinctly different from just giant creatures of those types. But they are rather, actually, now that I think about that, is very likely to be inspired from a camel, although with 6 legs. But that's besides the point. And they are just very, they have been made so very distinctly alien from that. That's I just adore the character design, or creature design, I suppose. I do adore these sentient creatures, though, that they are very, like that people said, they are very wise at the very least, or they seem at the very least rather wise. Just like ancient spirits that have been wandering the earth. They really seem interesting and quite cool. This is the kind of episode I do like to see, though. Like, having some interesting creatures and some really varied locales, some interesting difficulties, just a lot of cool theming that is really unique to the show and just is striking in its appearance. It's good to look at and interesting to think about. I suppose it was time to get some action going on in here, but what are these creatures, though? They're just like the episode is freaking mysterious at the very least. Well, that is not that different of a creature, though. It's just a flying bird, or pterodactyl or something. It's not that creative. Unless there's something that's beyond it that we have yet to see. What the heck are those things, though? Like, it certainly is like the ruins of civilization or something, but it's just all very suspicious and odd. I wonder exactly. Well, a lot of things I wondered. There's a lot of things that are being questioned here, like why exactly is that? What could have caused such a apparently heavily advanced, militarily advanced civilization to go to ruin, and why exactly the creatures are bringing Jack here, and whether there is a time portal, and how those creatures even know about that, and numerous other questions. But let's just continue. We'll be here all day, I suppose, if I continue keeping asking questions. And now that looks... that character design looks quite a bit less different. Now that character design that we saw, that face, looks quite a bit less threatening. Oh boy.
This mystical land have guided me. Is this the passage through time that I have...
To the tiniest of warriors.
Now that explains, it wasn't the ruins of civilization. It was people who were seeking the power of time travel. That makes a lot of sense, actually. It looked like the ruins of city, but it was instead just the ruins of some giant sentinels that were trying to reach the power of time travel. Makes a lot more sense in that case.
You see, Samurai, only one man has been prophesied to defeat me. And that man is the only man who can use this time passage. And you, my man, ain't that man.
I like this voice actor. Who is this voice actor? God damn it. Somebody of you will probably tell me, but this is just... this is just some charisma in his voice that is just fantastic.
Just
All right, brother. Let's see what you can do with that against this.
I love how much sass this guy is giving Jack. It's just fantastic. It just makes it. I don't know. There's just something about him that's just really fun.
All right, dodge this.
You sure you have enough Dakka, man? I think you might need more Dakka. That's... Oh my god! That's... Dakka. That's... Now, that is what I like to see. Nah, man, you need more Dakka. That ain't even far enough Dakka. At least get 2 heavy bolters in on ya. I like those missiles, though. No, he picked up those shurikens. Not enough Dakka? Get more Dakka. That's fantastic. Oh God, I'm loving this. Well, this fight has taken quite the turn. That is immaculately badass. Oh, look at the blood! I mean... Jeez. This is pretty brutal beatdown, I must say. That is nasty. It's just being... Jack's just being brutalized here.
Not yet.
Not yet, he says. That's pretty immaculate, I must say. I wonder if this will happen in the latest season. This is gonna... That is... Yeah, that's pretty good.
Not yet.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Outro time. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now this is the kind of episode I like. The kind of episode that makes you wonder and question a few things. And it has a really good build-up, in my opinion. A really good build-up that leads to a fantastic fight sequence. That's basically the structure of the episode. And that's completely fine. That really is the show's forte. Well, okay, battles are the show's forte, but, you know. That it really is, this kind of structure is what the show is really, really good at. And that's something that I really adore. Like, that, having some really alien buildings and something to watch at and think and just ponder things about, and just having seen something so alien creatures and something like that, that's really interesting, and that's what I love about the show. And of course, we can't forget about that really, really kick-ass fight sequence with a really final good punch, which was that Jack lost. Jack just flat out lost, and that is a really good twist on the formula and makes it so really good. And it's not like it was imbalanced completely. Jack was holding out really freaking well, and it was a really good fight sequence. And I really quite adored that as well, so... It was a really good fight sequence. I really liked that. And that ending, that is what I adored. That ending of just, it's not yet time. This could be an episode that might come back in the latest, the 5th season. Maybe it's going to be the final resolution. Maybe. Don't know. Hopefully nobody will spoil it for me. But it's entirely possible, and I love that kind of foreshadowing potentially. It's really good and really exciting and makes me all bubbly inside. It's just, it's exciting. It's a good episode. It's just a really, really kick-ass solid episode. Maybe it isn't something so iconic that I can point to, like the 4th episode was with those skeletons and just a huge fight and alien horror, and that was a really kick-ass episode. That's an iconic episode I can point to. But this is a really solid episode that I can just enjoy. It showcases a lot of the show's strengths really freaking well. Although it doesn't really showcase silent storytelling as well, but that's besides that well, and it did do that at some points, but yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed this quite a bit. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope to see you in the future. Have a great day and stay awesome. Kanmu out. Thank you very much for watching.